Search online for how to attract women and you'll find the same recycled advice everywhere. Build muscle, make money, learn pickup techniques, master elaborate routines, but look at reality. Most men in healthy relationships don't have model bodies, extreme wealth, or advanced game. Many have none of these things, yet they attract women naturally, consistently, without effort. So what's the truth? The truth is simpler than anyone tells you. Attracting women is far easier than you've been led to believe. But it requires understanding something most men never grasp. Something the pickup industry deliberately obscures because simplicity doesn't sell courses. Today I'm revealing what actually creates attraction. Not theory, not techniques, just core principles that once understood change everything. By the end, you'll know exactly how attraction works and why you've been making it harder than it needs to be. The fundamental truth: attraction is a state of mind, nothing more. What exists in your mind shapes your behavior. Your behavior shapes how women feel around you. And women respond to feelings, not logic. Remember this above everything else. She feels what you feel. Women don't primarily judge your looks, words, or money. They judge the emotional state you project. If you feel nervous, insecure, unworthy, she feels it, even if you say perfect things. If you feel calm, grounded, self-assured, she feels that too. This is why nervous men get rejected and relaxed men don't. Same words, different energy, completely different results. Most men operate from a damaged internal state without realizing it. They've internalized beliefs that sabotage them before they open their mouths. Beliefs like "I'm not good enough," or "she's out of my league," or "I need to impress her." These beliefs create behaviors that repel women: trying too hard, seeking approval, being overly nice, abandoning your own opinions to avoid conflict. All of this comes from the same source: feeling inferior. And when you feel inferior, she feels it too. She might not consciously think, "This man feels inferior," but she'll experience vague discomfort. Something feels off. He's trying too hard. It's not natural. That discomfort kills attraction before it starts. Stop placing her on a pedestal immediately. This is the most common mistake men make. They meet an attractive woman and immediately elevate her. Treat her like she's special, rare, above them, before she's done anything to deserve it. This behavior broadcasts insecurity. It says, "You're so valuable that I must prove my worth to you." That's the opposite of attractive. The best way to impress a woman is not trying to impress her at all. When you stop seeking her approval, something counterintuitive happens. She starts seeking yours. Most women are used to men trying to win them over. They've seen everything: compliments, free drinks, excessive politeness, constant attention. It's background noise. So when a man behaves differently, when he's relaxed, playful, not invested in the outcome, it stands out. Consider two approaches. Man 1 sees attractive woman, offers to buy her drink. She declines, he stands there awkwardly, then leaves defeated. Man 2 sees same woman, asks what the best drink here is. She suggests something. He says, "Nice, you should buy me one." Who's more memorable? The second man isn't trying to win approval. He's playful, unexpected. He's created curiosity, and curiosity creates attraction. The first man is predictable, approval-seeking, neediness masked as generosity. And neediness kills attraction faster than anything else. Understand what approval-seeking actually communicates. When you constantly seek validation, you're silently saying, "I need you to like me." That neediness is felt instantly. Here's the mental journey of the approval seeker. He sees an attractive woman, thinks, "She's amazing, I hope this goes well." Tries too hard, sacrifices his own power to avoid rejection. Meanwhile, what's she feeling? "He's doing everything to impress me. It's boring." The moment a woman senses you need her approval, attraction fades, because attraction cannot exist where neediness does. They're mutually exclusive. Men who naturally attract women share one trait: they're detached from outcomes. They don't tie self-worth to whether a specific woman likes them. Rejection doesn't devastate them. doesn't define them, it's just part of the process. Consider two reactions to rejection. Man 1 says hello. Woman tells him to go away. He apologizes and leaves defeated. Man 2 says hello. Woman tells him to go away. He says, wow, someone woke up on the wrong side of life. My mom warned me about angry birds, I'm out. Who enjoyed the interaction more? When you're not emotionally invested, you remain playful, confident, in control. The rejection doesn't touch you because your value isn't determined by her response. That's freedom. That's attractive. Stop rewarding beauty alone. Here's a harsh truth. Physical beauty is not earned. It's genetic lottery. So why do men treat beautiful women like they deserve special treatment? When you become nervous, overly nice, or try too hard just because she's attractive, you signal inferiority. You're saying your beauty makes me feel beneath you. That's unattractive. Instead, treat beauty as neutral. Here's how this works in practice. Your friend says it's hard to find intelligent women. You respond, why? Beauty is everywhere these days. Intelligence is rare. Now watch what happens in her mind if she hears this. She's not used to this framing. She starts thinking, is he saying I'm not intelligent? Does he even see me as attractive? Now she wants your validation, not because you insulted her, but because you didn't give it freely. You treated beauty as common, which it is, and implied other qualities matter more. This creates tension, and tension creates attraction. Most men do the opposite. They see beauty and immediately surrender all standards. The woman learns quickly that her appearance alone grants her infinite value in this man's eyes. So why would she work for anything? Why would she be interesting, kind, thoughtful? She doesn't need to be. He's already sold. That's boring for her. Women want to feel like they earned something. When you give everything for free, there's no value in receiving it. Embrace abundance mentality over scarcity. Men who struggle with women operate from scarcity. They believe, this might be my only chance, I can't mess this up. Men who succeed operate from abundance. They believe there are many women I choose. This isn't about having options. It's about believing you could have options if you wanted them. That belief changes everything. Imagine going to a restaurant wanting chicken soup. They don't have it. Don't have vegetable soup either. Only tomato soup. So you settle. Most men do this with women. They settle. Not because they want to, but because they don't believe they have options. A man who understands attraction never settles. He chooses, and he's willing to choose nothing rather than choose wrong. This isn't arrogance. It's standards. When you have standards, when you're genuinely willing to walk away from what doesn't serve you, women sense it. They sense you're not desperate, not needy, not willing to accept anything just to avoid being alone. That's rare. That's valuable. That's attractive. The man with options, or the mindset of options, never chases. He doesn't need to. He's busy living his life. If a woman wants to be part of that life, great. If not, also great. That detachment is magnetic because it's authentic. You're not performing abundance. You genuinely don't need any specific woman to validate you. Put principles above people always. A high-value man puts his principles above everything, including women. He doesn't compromise who he is out of fear of losing someone. If a woman threatens to leave during an argument, the average man panics, apologizes, submits, betrays his own values just to keep her around. A high-value man responds calmly, maybe we're not compatible, and walks away if necessary. He knows his worth. He's not willing to sacrifice his integrity for companionship. This doesn't mean being inflexible or unwilling to compromise. It means having core values that aren't negotiable. Standards you won't violate, boundaries you won't cross. When you maintain these regardless of consequence, women respect you, even if they test those boundaries, especially when they test those boundaries. Women test to see if you're real. If you fold under the slightest pressure, you failed. You've proven you're performing strength rather than possessing it. But when you hold your ground calmly, without anger or defensiveness, just firm clarity about who you are and what you will and won't accept, that's genuine strength. That's attractive. Make her work for your attention and investment. We value what we work for. This applies to relationships. When a woman has to earn your attention, she becomes emotionally invested. This doesn't mean being cold or cruel. It means being selective. Compare two men. Average man says, "You're really pretty." High-value man says, "You're attractive, but I'm not sure we'd get along. You seem too well-behaved for me." The second statement creates emotional tension. She starts thinking, why wouldn't we get along? What does he see in me? What does he mean too well-behaved? Curiosity ignites. She's engaged. She wants to know more. She wants to prove she's interesting enough. That's investment. The first man gave everything immediately. Validation without requirement. There's nowhere to go from there. Nothing to discover. Nothing to earn. Just immediate acceptance regardless of who she is as a person. That's not attractive. It's desperate. When you make a woman work for your approval, when you require her to demonstrate value beyond appearance, when you're genuinely evaluating whether she's right for you rather than assuming she is just because she's attractive, everything changes. She's no longer being pursued. She's pursuing your approval. That's when attraction grows. Never change yourself to keep her. One of the biggest mistakes men make is reshaping their lives to fit a woman. They change habits, abandon interests, suppress opinions, hide parts of themselves they think she won't like. This is emotional self-betrayal. When you change for a woman, you signal, "You are higher value than me." If she doesn't accept you as you are, she's not right for you. Period. A high-value man doesn't adapt his reality to a woman. If she wants to be with him, she adapts to his reality, or they find they're incompatible and part ways. Both are fine outcomes. The outcome that's not fine is him pretending to be someone he's not just to keep her around, because that's unsustainable. Eventually, the mask slips. The real person emerges, and she feels deceived, not because you lied, but because you weren't genuine from the start. Better to be yourself immediately, polarizing, authentic, clear about who you are and what you want. This filters out women who aren't compatible and attracts those who are. That's efficient. That's honest. That's attractive to the right people, which is all that matters. Abundance is the final key that unlocks everything. A man who understands attraction knows this truth. There is no shortage of attractive women. He doesn't obsess over one. Doesn't chase, doesn't beg. If one woman leaves, another will come. This mindset changes everything. Not because it's a strategy, but because it's true. There are billions of women, millions who would be compatible with you. Thousands you could build great relationships with. Hundreds you could love deeply. Why would you torture yourself over one who isn't interested? Why would you compromise your values, your identity, your peace to convince someone who doesn't naturally want to be with you? That's insanity. When you truly internalize abundance, when you genuinely believe and feel that you have options or could create options, desperation evaporates. Neediness disappears. You relax. You become playful. You enjoy interactions without attachment to outcomes. That relaxed, playful, unattached energy is what attracts women. Not your words, not your tactics, your energy, your state, your vibe. And that vibe comes from abundance mentality. From knowing you're going to be fine regardless of what any specific woman does. That's the secret. That's what nobody tells you. Attraction isn't about what you do. It's about who you are, how you feel about yourself, what you believe about your value. When you feel valuable, when you believe you have options, when you're genuinely content with yourself and your life, women sense it, and they're drawn to it, because that energy is rare. Most men are desperate, needy, approval-seeking. You're not. You're different. You're attractive. This isn't just dating advice. It's a mindset shift. When you stop chasing approval and start valuing yourself, attraction follows naturally. Not with every woman. That's not the goal. With compatible women. With women who appreciate who you actually are rather than who you're pretending to be. That's better. That's sustainable. That's what creates relationships that actually work rather than relationships that require constant performance. Let me show you how this works in practice. Two men see the same woman at a coffee shop. Man one has been absorbing typical advice. He approaches nervously. "Hi, I noticed you from across the room and had to come say you're beautiful." She thanks him politely but dismissively. He tries harder. "Can I buy you a coffee? Or maybe get your number?" She declines. He leaves feeling rejected and inadequate. Man two approaches relaxed. "Hey, you look like someone who knows good coffee. What's actually worth drinking here besides the overpriced milk with a shot of espresso?" She laughs, recommends something. He says, "Bold choice. You're either very confident or setting me up for disappointment. I'll trust you this time." They chat naturally, no pressure, no seeking approval, just playful interaction. Who had the better experience? Who's more likely to get her number? The second man. Not because he had better lines, because his energy was different. He wasn't seeking validation. He was just being present and playful. That's attractive. Consider another scenario. On a first date, average man asks what she wants to do, where she wants to go, what she wants to eat. He's accommodating, flexible, eager to please. High-value man says, "I know a great spot. We're going there unless you're allergic to something or hate a specific cuisine, in which case tell me now." He leads. He makes decisions. He doesn't outsource his confidence to her preferences. This doesn't mean being controlling. It means being decisive. Women appreciate men who can make decisions without requiring constant input and approval. It signals competence, self-assurance, leadership. These are attractive qualities. The accommodating man thinks he's being nice. He's actually being weak. He's demonstrating he has no opinions, no preferences, no backbone. He'll mold himself into whatever shape keeps her happy. That's not attractive. That's exhausting. Because she has to lead. She has to make decisions. She has to be the strong one. Most women don't want that burden. They want a partner who brings strength to the relationship, not someone they have to constantly manage and direct. Look at how men handle conflict differently. Woman says something the average man disagrees with. He nods, agrees, hides his real opinion to avoid tension. She senses this, loses respect. High-value man hears something he disagrees with, states his position clearly and calmly. "I see it differently. Here's why." He's not aggressive, not trying to win, just honest about his perspective. This creates healthy tension. It shows he has principles. He's not a yes man. He's not afraid of her disapproval. That's attractive. Women don't want men who agree with everything. They want men with backbone, with opinions, with confidence to hold those opinions even when challenged. Constant agreement isn't harmony. It's weakness, and weakness isn't attractive. Watch what happens with boundaries. Average man tolerates behavior that bothers him. She cancels plans last minute repeatedly. He says it's fine. She's rude to him in front of friends. He laughs it off. She crosses his boundaries. He moves them. He's so afraid of losing her that he accepts everything. This creates contempt, not respect. High-value man has clear boundaries. First time she cancels last minute without good reason, he addresses it. "I made plans based on our commitment. If you're not interested, just say so, but don't waste my time." He's not angry, not dramatic, just clear. This happens again. He walks away because he values himself more than he fears being alone. That self-respect is magnetic. It communicates, "I know my worth and won't accept less than I deserve." Women respect that, even if they test it, especially when they test it. Think about investment and effort. Average man does everything, plans all dates, initiates all contact, puts in all effort. She just shows up. This creates imbalance. She's not invested. Why would she be? She's not working for anything. High-value man matches energy. She texts, he texts back. But he doesn't chase. She wants to see him, great. He makes plans, but if she's consistently low effort, he pulls back. Not as punishment, as natural consequence. He's not going to invest more than she does. This creates balance. Either she steps up her investment or the connection fades. Both outcomes are acceptable. Because he's not attached to keeping any specific woman around. He's interested in connections that are mutual, balanced, healthy. Anything else isn't worth his time. Consider how men present themselves. Average man tries to appear perfect, hides flaws, presents only his best self, creates pressure to maintain that image, eventually cracks, she feels deceived. High-value man is authentic from the start, not trying to be perfect, genuinely himself, flaws included. This is polarizing. Some women won't like him. That's fine. He's not for everyone. He's for people who appreciate him as he actually is. This honesty creates real connection, not connection based on performance. Connection based on genuine compatibility. That's what lasts. The perfect image eventually fails. Authentic self remains consistent. Women can relax around authentic men. They don't have to wonder what's real and what's performance. They know. That trust forms foundation for actual intimacy. Theory without practice is useless. Apply what you've learned. Start today. Stop seeking approval. Stop placing women on pedestals. Stop rewarding beauty alone. Embrace abundance. Maintain your principles. Make her work for your investment. Be genuinely yourself. These aren't tricks. They're natural consequences of healthy self-esteem and accurate understanding of attraction. Master these and you won't need to get any woman.